Okay, I'm really geeking out right now as one of the most iconic female heroines in TV history. Lindsay Wagner won over a global audience as the Bionic Woman. No. And now the 70s TV star is right here in Australia to meet her loyal fans at Supernova on the Gold Coast. And we're speaking to her right now. Lindsay, great to see you this morning. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Lindsay, you have a lot of fans down under. We loved you in this role, but I'm reading here that you initially were going to turn this down. Say it ain't so.
Yes, no, I was. I hadn't ever seen the show prior to the request to do it, and I was into wanting to do very serious drama stuff. But I was also teaching children at the time. I was teaching children acting to help them kind of find themselves. They were junior high, what we call junior high school age.
Yep.
And that's that awkward age where, you know, you're trying to deal with hormones and the world looks different to you, and it's just a very difficult time. So for me, that's when I was introduced to acting. It was very helpful to help me kind of find a sense of myself, and also to give me a sense of not feeling like I had to just be one thing all the time. So I was working with kids. I loved that. I loved doing the actual acting that I was doing. And so I was kind of torn, because the more acting I did, the more I didn't get to work with the kids. And so I wanted to do serious work that I thought would help people. And my girlfriend said, you know, this seems like the perfect thing for you, because if you have some sense of control for the stories, you'd actually be able to mold them the way you have this passion for helping kids, and you can mold the stories. So I went back and talked to the studio, and well, I didn't, my agent did, and we got a certain amount of creative control. So I was very involved in developing a lot of the stories, and that's what actually turned me around. Because
she was a very strong female role model for the time, wasn't she?
It was really the first. It was a real groundbreaker on a cultural level in every way, for television, but also just in our culture. And I've had so many wonderful, one of the things I love about doing the autograph shows is, and what actually kind of hooked me on it was, people come and they tell me their stories, and they tell me what that did for them. You know, when you're doing a television show, you don't get instant feedback. You get press feedback, but you don't get feedback from the people until later. And that particular show, because there were so many kids, young kids, we really didn't know how it affected them until they got old enough to express themselves. So when that audience got into their 20s and 30s, I had women coming and telling me, thank you for what you did. You know, my family only ever saw that I could be a nurse or a hairdresser. Not that isn't wonderful professions, but those were my only choices that I was given. And I said, no, I want to be an engineer. And they're going, you can't, you're a girl. Well, Jamie Summers this, and I would get these kinds of responses. And this woman's an engineer at NASA. And she said it was because of the influence of that show and the way I saw you fight for what you wanted. And she said it gave me the strength to talk back to my family. I mean, not that you should teach kids to talk back to their family, but to stand up for what they really wanted. But teach them to stand up, be independent. I know it teaches me to always want to run in slow motion and jump off, you know, with that sound effect in my head. But you guys in these shows always use stunt doubles, but there was one time we were reading that you actually did your own. It was kind of by mistake with Evel Knievel. What happened there? Oh, yeah, that wasn't even meant to be a stunt. We were supposed to simply sit on the motorcycle, and we were in this very windy canyon that went way up, straight up. And the stunt doubles were going to do all the driving, and we were to just drive into the shot and do our little chat, and then drive out about 4 feet away from the camera. And he just loved terrorizing me, so I'm on the back of this motorcycle, and he took off and went up that hill, and I was literally, you know, the body has its own intelligence. We think we run this body, but we really don't. I was watching myself beating him on the back, saying, stop! But my body was doing it. I had no cool whatsoever. And it was quiet. And then he got up to the top, and he was laughing at me, and I'm saying, okay, and I tried to get off, and he went back down again, and we got to the bottom, and my whole crew was standing there looking at me. And I thought, I gotta be cool when I get off this bike, because all I wanted to do was cry and fall into a puddle. And I got off the bike and I looked around and I said, wardrobe, I think I might need another pair of pants. And so that was, you know, I handled that till I got in my dressing room, and then I kind of fell apart.
Into the brown pants phase of the Bionic Woman. Look, thank you so much for your time. You do have a lot of fans down under here, including myself. You know, we're very, you know, big fans of the show and big fans of yours. So thank you for your time this morning, Lindsay.
Thank you. I hope you'll all come to the Gold Coast and see me this weekend.
That's a good point. If you want to meet the Bionic Woman in person, head to the Supernova Expo in the Gold Coast this weekend. She seems so super nice, Sonia.
She does, and she looks amazing.